Hello, Abnormal Investigations. This is your 8 o'clock drop. I hope y'all enjoy this encounter. It's a little bit bloody, so it might be tough for some of y'all. I will put a warning on this video. I know a lot of y'all it bothers if animals are hurt, so there is an animal in this story that is hurt. So keep that in mind as you listen to this encounter. And let's go ahead and jump into this. Also, if you'd like extra content, our Patreon and YouTube memberships offer extra content. The Patreon link is in the description of this video. I want to start off by introducing myself and providing a small amount of background info. My name is Jules. At this time the story took place, I was living with my boyfriend, who for his sake I will be referring to as D, and his family in a small rural town surrounded by woods in central Alberta, Canada. I am originally from a big city in Ontario, but spent summers camping and had never had an experience quite like this in all the time in the woods. It wasn't too late at night when we decided to head outside for a smoke, maybe 9:30 or 10. At least D and I snuck out of our room quietly as to not disturb the sleeping children or their mother. We let the dog out and made sure the door was secured before we made our way to the shed where we like to hang out while we smoke, so we can have a little privacy. He lives in a trailer park and has a uncomfortably noisy neighbor. I noticed a strange feeling, the atmosphere, but I brushed it off. We lived in a shady town, the things often felt off. We were situated in the shed chatting about whatever stupid topics had come up and to mind when I realized that it was dead silent outside. See, this trailer park was connected to the woods, and the back of our trailer it actually was by the woods. So the town was right off a major highway, and the shed that we would hang out was where his dad would do all of his processing. He was an avid hunter, so he had the meat grinder outside and all the tools he needed for, cleaning his game. And a highway that could always be heard from his house even at night. This made me uneasy, and I told Dee to be quiet so we could listen. As soon as we shut up, we heard 3 consistent taps that came from the window to my left. It sounded like somebody was drumming their fingers on the glass, and my heart just sank. At first, I thought it was just something outside, or maybe I was just hearing things. And my mind has a tendency sometimes to play tricks on me when I get scared. I stared at Dee, and Dee stared at me wide-eyed. I knew it was real. We sat in silence for a moment, analyzing, straining our ears to pick out the sound from outside. But there was nothing. It was silent. We couldn't even hear the dog roaming around the small yard. And usually that little dog, let me tell you, it is a yapper. If anything was going on, trust me, you would know. We called him Squeaker, because he barked at everything. And as in the background, I have had a little run-in was I have practiced a little bit of witchcraft and have always loved anything scary. Everything I've had ever heard of about anything, skinwalkers were always my favorite, and yes, we tried to summon one on several occasions. Suddenly, something started banging aggressively against the side of the shed under the window, and we initially thought it was a dog, but it wasn't. But it was a harsh hit. I could tell something was large and fleshy hitting the metal siding. It was a clang, or anything like that. It wasn't the soft thunk the dog made when she jumped on the shed. It was like somebody was slamming their head, or their hand or fist against the wall. Immediately we decided that was enough, and we began to pack up our stuff to go inside. I put my chair away, and as I always do, I finished up smoking my cigarette so that we could leave. I leaned against the door, which doesn't properly latch because it's missing the metal piece that goes in the frame, which was also splintered and broken. Whatever was banging on the wall had had enough of that, and it fell silent because it had busted part of the door, and now the window was shattered and cracked like a spider web. I felt the impact through the cold metal. I felt the door budge just a little bit under my weight, and as the sound of the thuds ended, something was being dragged across the door, something sharp. God, I could just tell that this had to be a knife. We were there, hunkered down in the dark, afraid and scared. We was not even brave enough to look out the window as we could hear this walking around, and then thud, 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 all the way around the building. Something just smashing the side of the building. It sounded like it was hitting it with something, like his hand or something that it wasn't completely solid. We just couldn't make out what it was. And then we hear this god awful sound. We don't even know what it is. It's like a screeching, crunching, like a squeezing. I don't even know how to, like, maybe when you put like that silly putty you buy in your hands, and you would squeeze it through your hands and it would make kind of like that, I don't know, maybe like that air noise, everybody used to laugh about. It kind of sounded like a fart, but kind of wet, and you could hear like that sound. We had no idea what was going on, but I know that I was so afraid that I started to cry uncontrollably. And my boyfriend told me, he said, "It's okay, it's okay. I will get you to the house. Don't worry. It's probably just somebody out there being stupid, or they're probably stealing something. Let them steal it and go away, and then we'll go in. Let them have it. Nothing is worth our life." I agreed. We stayed there with our backs against the door, pushing on it, hoping that they did not try to come back in. Then everything fell quiet. We was able to go back into the trailer, and nothing happened the rest of the night. I got cleaned up. I was afraid. I had been scared, and he held me tightly while we slept. The next morning, we wake up to his mom beating on our bedroom door, hysterical. She is crying. She cannot talk. She is screaming. Her back slams against the hallway door, her feet against the washer and dryer that is in the hallway, and she just slides down it, bawling, with blood all over her. In her right hand, she is holding her dog's collar. We run outside to check to see what had happened. Is he hurt? What's happened? Because our neighbor does have a larger dog, and we was afraid that they had fought again because they always fought through the fence. When we ran outside, we found Squeaker. He had been placed into my dad's meat grinder, and whatever had put him in there ground him plumb through it and all over the ground. It looked like sausage with hair in it. He was completely grounded. This was the most evil, sadistic thing I'd ever seen in my life. The only thing left was his tail and a little bit of his butt, which the creature had hung from the knocker on our door. You tell me these damn things are not evil, Mike, because they don't come from the pits of hell. I have since quit practicing witchcraft, and I have found the Lord Jesus Christ, and I am now attending church. I truly was so scared that night because these things are real. I have seen things that people would not even believe. But I no longer seek those, as I am now seeking the Lord. And my life has gotten better. Everything has gotten better. Our relationship, our life, everything. Finances. Mike, I'm telling you, you got to stay away from the darkness. There is a lot of darkness in this community. One, in fact, that I know you've had trouble with. He is very dark also. I come from the darkest of darkest, and I see right through him. I know what he's doing. We change words, just small words, to change meanings of God's words, to make them not mean what he meant. And we try to slip it by to people with a sly tongue, and to be able to try to deceive you into agreeing with us. You have a good ability of discernment, Mike, that you have caught this, and I pray that many more do. I hope that you all have a great, great, great day, and I will see you all on the live Saturday night. Be careful. Your fan always, Abby. Thank you very much for that, Abby. I really appreciate that story. Man, that's crazy. I'm glad that you found the Lord, number one. That's very, very important. The other thing is just horrendous. And, we've said forever, me and Brooks and Scott, we believe these things to be nothing but total evil. And I believe that what you ran into that night was totally evil. She made a PS at the bottom. She said, by the way, the footsteps that we found in the yard were large bipedal canine footprints that were found in the yard. And we have, they believe that it was a Dogman, and I believe it was too. So, yeah, thank you for sharing. Keep your path with the Lord. Things will continue to get better. Pray for protection. And as always, guys, thank you for listening. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And until next time, be safe.